You're listening to a Countout Podcast.
Get ready, Ohio. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to the Buckeye State. And to kick things off, you can get started with $100 in free bets as an early sign-up bonus. Plus, when you sign up today with promo code OhioSB, you'll be all set for when FanDuel goes live in Ohio. Then you can bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports with $100 in free bets. Just download FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Ohio, this is your chance to get in on the action. Join today with promo code OhioSB. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Ohio. Bonus issued in non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after FanDuel accepts its first real money sports wager in Ohio on 1/1/23. Unique user identity verification required. Offer ends on the go-live date. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Peloton's best offer of the season is here. Get up to $600 off Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, or Tread packages. Choose the package that's right for you with accessories like our cycling shoes, a heart rate band, non-slip grip dumbbells, and more. If you've been looking for a sign to join Peloton, this offer gives you everything you need to get going. This limited time offer ends December 6th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 6, 2022. Excludes Bike, Bike Plus, and Tread Basics. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
Everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only show where one of the hosts has been dying all week. That's right, I put the cough in coffin. Ryan Knightsey. How's it going, everybody? With me, as always, is Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how are you doing?
Oh, living the dream. Living the dream. Just kidding. Couldn't be worse. But, I could be worse. I could be sick like you've been, actually. So,
literally
there we
sick,
go. How about that?
Literally sick an entire week.
Yeah, you hit it. You literally stopped doing this show, and then your body shut down.
That's not a joke. That is not a joke. If you are on the page, if you're on the Patreon, patreon.com/countoutpod. If you're on the Patreon, you can see the last episode of Ryan Hasn't Seen Anything, where at the end of it, I'm like, oh man, I'm not feeling good. Like, that match made me sick. Which, at the time we thought, like, oh man, this match was so brutal that
brutal.
It was actually making me sick. And then I was like, okay, and then I put up all the stuff together and all that jazz, and then walked downstairs, watched television with my sick fiance, and literally, like, sitting there for like an hour, I was like, oh no, I think I'm actually sick. This feeling of nausea is not going away. And then a week later, still sick. Every day, Scotty, it's been something new. Past couple of days actually hasn't been that new. It's basically just been coughing, but every day it was literally something new, and it was disgusting and gross, and I lost like 4 pounds, which I guess is good, but not the way you want it to be. But yeah, I'm dying. I know I'm physically dying. You're mentally dying. I think we're all just, it's one of those days. That's if people wondering why we didn't live stream this episode. That's one of those reasons why we're not live streaming it. It's because
Ryan's we're going through it. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those episodes where you're just going through it, folks. But we're still trudging through. We were Born for Greatness, my 2022 Spotify Wrapped Song of the Year. I think it said it played it 64 times. We are Born for Greatness. I don't remember any of the lyrics now. There's a lyric in the song.
I was born for greatness.
Born for Greatness, apparently. Also a Papa Roach song. Do we dare play that song? I mean, do we have to?
No.
Oh, man, that is... now we gotta look that up. Excuse me. There will be some coughing throughout the episode. Scotty, how are you doing?
We're working. It's funny because, like, I asked you last night, are we doing this show? Because I knew you were, on death row at sometimes this week. And then I was like, wait a minute. What is even to do for this week's show? Because it's like, I don't know. It's been a weird week for wrestling, so it hasn't been as newsworthy. We're kind of heading towards the newsworthy stuff still.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was funny because I was like, oh, I should probably like ask before we just move on.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be like the last. I feel like this episode is sort of a calm before the storm episode. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we are previewing today NXT Takeover Deadline and Ring of Honor Final Battle. And there are also some other news bits.
AK, let's just throw shit at the wall and see what happens. Back to back shows.
Yeah. But then next week we're going to be reviewing that show. Winter is Coming is happening as well. Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. So that's gonna be a big show as well. Then we're gonna be next thing we're gonna be previewing Dream Queendom, and AAA's got a Night of Champions show, which however that's gonna be. Rev Pro has a show coming up, which that should be pretty good. And then Wrestle Kingdom is gonna be around that corner as well. And then after Wrestle Kingdom, it's reviewing Wrestle Kingdom, previewing Impact Hard to Kill, which whatever. Talking about that. Then the Great Muta Final Bye Bye, and then the Royal Rumble. Every week beyond this week, this is the start. Really, it's the calm before the storm, before it really starts picking up a lot more. And also be talking year-end awards, of course. Doing that again at some point. In the new year. We gotta wait till Dream Queendom really gets by, because that's gonna be I don't know. I mean, I think the only thing that Dream Queendom might affect is like match of the year.
Yeah, it's a weird show.
I don't think Dream Queendom is going to rapidly change like female wrestler of the year awards.
No. It might. The only thing it would be is maybe match of the year, and I guess I'll say show, if because you never know with shows, right? It's like,
yeah,
well, if everything hits,
it's possible.
Sure, right? It's like that. You can't really predict that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say probably keep an eye out for that, but it's just so weird because it's at the end of the year. So it's like, oh, I have to wait on all of my year-end stuff until this show happens, which is, right before. But I guess that's the exciting part for them, is that, hey, we are the last big show. And that last week of the year and the first week of the year in Japan's like insanity anyways, in terms of big shows and big matches. Like, so there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot to play with as the year closes out. And that's what's so exciting.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And then next week and the week after that, we're going to have guests. We can have guests scheduled and planned for next week and the week after. So
yes, I'm going to sit here and act like I didn't forget.
I couldn't remember if it was this week or next week, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I could begin to tell you. I was like, I know it's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Because, time flies, right? And it's hard to pay attention. But I was like, wait a minute. Is it this week? No, it's not. But yeah, let's do our damn thing, huh? I'm so confused. I'm so lost.
No worries. Let's hold hands, Scotty, and walk into and wade into the wrestling news together, as only we shall. So we got a bunch really news-wise, like you said, sort of a light week news-wise and wrestling world stuff. It's one of those weeks where it's like, here's some contract news update stuff. Here's one that did not know happened until I read it this morning. Tegan Nox return on SmackDown last Friday, helping Liv Morgan, seemingly teaming up with Liv Morgan moving forward. So Tegan Nox back in WWE, back wrestling in WWE, has her full name, Tegan Nox, not just Nox, I believe it was. So yeah, she is back, and with new hairdo and all that jazz. So what are your thoughts on Tegan Nox coming back The old Papa H.
An actual good ad. You know, I know, like with Tegan Knox, and I think she gets a lot of undeserved hate because her knees failed her. Right? It's like it's not her fault that her knees just couldn't hold up for so long, and she was a really special prospect once upon a time.
Yeah,
and I feel like I haven't really seen her get to go since coming back, because like she came back for 2 seconds right on NXT, then she got moved to the main roster, and then she was off TV within, I don't know, 3 weeks.
yeah.
So it's like this is a whole new person in a lot of ways, and it's a fine ad to bolster up a women's division on SmackDown, which we went over is really bad.
Yeah.
So she instantly becomes like one of their top talents on there in terms of just in ring, despite not having
50.
wrestling all year.
Yep.
And having no knees.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how many. I'm gonna look up how many matches she's had just in the past, I don't know, 3 years maybe.
It's a fun game, but I think I like that I saw her like show up. I didn't actually watch the show. I just saw the video and I was like, oh, good for her.
Yeah.
She tough go. And this feels like one of the ones where Triple H brought her back. Wow, she hasn't wrestled since.
She hasn't wrestled since October of 2021.
Jesus.
So Tegan Knox, wrestling pretty sizable numbers: 60 matches in 2015, 104 matches in 2016, 34 matches in 2017. She stopped wrestling in April. I don't know when she signed with WWE, but she stopped wrestling in April or May-ish of 2017, and then didn't wrestle. Was that an injury again?
That was the first one.
Are you sure? Because
because she was supposed to win the first Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, no, but the Mae Young Classic didn't happen until after that, because she then has matches in NXT April of 2018 where she is wrestling in NXT on NXT live shows.
Yeah, that's the second Mae Young Classic, though. She was supposed to win the first one. That's a little known fact. She was supposed to win both, and she won neither.
Was the 2018 Mae Young Classic the first one?
No, 2017, because I think Kyrie was over there by then. Oh, let's play the game of can I remember when the Mae Young Classics happened? Yeah, it was 2017 was the first one. Started in July. July?
Okay.
July. Yeah. And she was supposed to be in that. She got hurt. She came back, got hurt in the second one.
She came back for a couple live shows, got hurt in the second one, which aired. Yeah. I think this is the air dates.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
and
no,
then
this is when they were recorded. The air dates were October. They recorded in August. So she had matches in August, got injured.
Right.
Didn't wrestle again until July 2019. This is August 2018 to July 2019, where she comes back at a live show. Then she's on NXT for a little bit, 2019 to 2020.
That was her best run in the company.
Agreed.
Easily.
Agreed, because that was the run where she came back, did War Games, and...
Well, tried to do War Games.
And then feuded with Dakota Kai, had that really good TV match with Dakota Kai on NXT television. And then she got injured again.
It's been ultimately, it hasn't been easy.
Well, I guess my apologies. She went up to the main roster, it looks like, first. No.
As Knox?
Was she in the main roster at this point? No.
Her last match was on the main roster.
Yes, she
on a house show, I'm pretty sure.
She has a match in August of 2020 with a tri-brand battle royal, so presumably she's still in NXT at that point, but she's injured again. Then comes back on the main roster 2021 as Knox, teaming up with Shotzi. And she has 11 matches. Then she gets injured. She gets injured 1, 2, 3. Her 4th injury in 4 years. She's had an injury, a multi-month injury, 4 times in 4 years. So I guess what I'm saying, we're spending a lot of time on Tegan Nox, but I guess what I'm saying there is that I think you're right. I think Tegan Nox is such a talent that she is top 50% of the SmackDown women's roster because that SmackDown women's roster sucks butt. However, I don't know if
she couldn't be more fresh than she is now because she and this isn't a joke. This is actually like serious. She hasn't been injured. Like, she's not coming back from injury. She's literally just coming back to wrestling.
Sure.
Right? So, like, this might be her best shot and her last shot in a lot of ways to make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I'm wishing the best for her. She's a good ad for a and I thought she would have been a good ad for any women's roster, truthfully.
Yes.
I know, like, sure, it's been tough for her not to wrestle at all.
Sure.
I'm also sure, you know, it wasn't part of the plan. I think she had trouble with the visa at one point. So here's to cheering her on. Hopefully she can make something work. But
I guess I just have concerns about, at this point, level of can she go?
Well, yeah, but I mean, half
you're
the
right.
roster can't, so it doesn't matter.
I guess that's true.
She's still better than Shotzi, and Shotzi just had a match with Ronda Rousey on pay-per-view.
She's still better than Ronda Rousey, probably.
That's also true.
That's what I mean. I think she's still immediately, their base talent is still way better. It's just like she is shot. See.
Oh yeah.
She is just not. I don't think. I mean, I'll have to see it to believe it. You're right in that she's not coming back from injury. She's coming back from like not working. So she had time to actually.
She could be rusted too.
Great. Let's add rust on top of it. Speaking about rust, I guess in the sense that it's old and maybe Eric Young.
This one makes no sense to me.
Eric Young is seemingly over, because he was dead and killed off on Impact this past Thursday. Meaning he, as many believe, that he is now done with Impact Wrestling. His contract seems to be over, because, again, he's dead. So, it's funny to make fun of it, but this is not the first time that Impact kills off people. It's interesting that they kill off some people and don't kill off other people. Like, what is the determining factor?
Sorry, man. I don't know what you want me to do there. Do you want me to kill other people for them? Like,
yeah, like let's kill off some of our guys, but not all of our guys. But yeah, Eric Young's dead in Impact Wrestling lore.
Eric Young's dead,
and yeah. So the belief is that he is going to go back to WWE. Some believe that maybe you reunite, Killian Dane's out there, Alexander Wolf's out there, you reunite Sanity,
That's okay.
Nikki Cross is scary, creepy, crazy again. So the belief there is maybe a reunion of Sanity. Do you want to see Eric Young back in WWE?
No. No. I thought he's the type of guy that should be like an Impact lifer, and this isn't a shot at him. It's more of he just fits. Like, that's what his career is. He's an Impact lifer who's, he left. Yes, he left, but he didn't leave and find a lot of success in WWE. I know, like, Sanity was a thing, and they were in that first War Games that was really good. But, like, other than that, I mean, what are we talking about here, right? It's like, is it really that much of a difference for him to go there? Unless he just doesn't want to wrestle anymore, he's become more of a coach than anything else, which then, hey, good for you. But I'm not sure what he's going to do for this roster. He's a good wrestler. He fits a lot of roles, but he's never going to do that in WWE because no one ever saw him as that. That's why he was that in TNA. He's one of their truthfully, he's one of their greats in TNA Impact. Like, he was a great for them.
Yeah.
So it is weird to me that, they give him the world title, they give him his own group. He suffered an injury, came back, had that great match with Josh Alexander at Slammiversary, maybe. Like, he did all that, right? He was on the big show, and then he just, leaves. And don't get me wrong, I mean, it's not like Violence by Design.
Yeah.
Was sitting there killing it, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's a choice.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, Violent by Design got a little hammered's not the word, but they got a little hurt by, Eric Young getting injured. And then by time Eric Young comes back and is able to wrestle again, Joe Doring goes out with his cancer coming back. Right. And then it's just Eric Young and Diener, thank you. Couldn't remember. Then it's just those guys. And you start like unraveling the group and do that, and I could see why Eric Young's like, maybe I'll just find better waters somewhere else. And I the belief is WWE. I've also heard that there's belief that maybe he just wants to like coast on the indies, and maybe that might be the end of his career. I could see him maybe going back to coaching with WWE if he wants to.
Yeah,
I don't know if he wants to.
I know he was getting tried out to be a agent before he was released. So
yeah, like in the main roster he was doing some agent work. So yeah, maybe that's something he sees possible as a future. Maybe this was ending his career, was being killed on Impact, and then maybe he'll go back to WWE as an agent. I don't think maybe if he wants to do that, the job's there, Triple H is there, why not?
I can't give you a good reason why not to do it. Truthfully, I mean, especially if you don't want to wrestle as much anymore or at all, it's like, hey, all right, yeah, good last run in Impact. Go get your money.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Moving on to more contract news. Kota Ibushi, just a little reminder that his contract is up. We got confirmation that his contract is up at the end of January 2023. So in 2 months, roughly 2 months time, Kota Ibushi will be a free agent, assuming we all assume he is not re-upping his contract with New Japan, but it's a safe assumption. So Kota Ibushi might be a free agent, assuming that he is not re-upping with New Japan, but also assuming that he is healthy enough to wrestle. Obviously, he believes so. But doctors may say otherwise. Who the hell knows? Who the heck knows with this guy? But yeah, so if you're Kota Ibushi and you want to wrestle somewhere, where do you want to wrestle? What's the plan here?
He's an interesting one because, like, does working with him cost you relationships with New Japan?
You're thinking from the AEW perspective?
Yeah. You got to think from that perspective, I think, first.
Yeah. I think at the time when we hear all this stuff.
Yeah. Because there was stuff about, like, he might be just blacklisted from wrestling.
Yeah.
In some ways, let alone Japan, right? So it's like, it's calmed down now.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if there was any like truth to that. I think there was definitely fear that was true.
Yeah,
but I don't know if there was necessarily truth to that. But I agree with what you're saying, that I wonder if it's definitely calmed down a lot, and I wonder if what the truth is with him and New Japan's relationship. It seems that some things have healed a little bit compared to where they were. But so I guess if you're New Japan, if you want to make this guy happy, you release him from his contract, and you send him to AEW. We've just proven that AEW guys are working New Japan. You can have them come back into New Japan at some point.
and not have to deal with him full time.
Correct. You can still have Kota Ibushi and just not have to deal with any of his politics, or not politics, but any of his, issues or any of those stuff.
Yeah.
If anything, New Japan wins by releasing
Yeah.
him because they can have him come back at any point in time.
Yeah, I don't know if the game is I don't know if he'd go back.
True.
To begin with.
That's
but
true.
I think with him, it's just such a wild card because he is such a wild card. I could see him be the type of guy to start his own little promotion.
Yep.
And just wrestle there for the rest of his days. I could see him go back to DDT because that's where he called home for a long time. I could see him not care to wrestle ever again.
I can see him as Keiji Muto's final match.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That's the thing. It's like we could see him do anything. He could retire. He could never wrestle again. He could wrestle for years to come in the smallest of companies or the biggest of companies. It's like that's Kota Ibushi. But here's my ultimate feeling on it. I'd just like to see Kota Ibushi wrestle again.
Yeah,
that's all I care about. Haven't seen the guy wrestle in forever, and the last time we did see him wrestle, he was just coming back from injury.
Yep, and then, but remember that last match?
Oh, illness! It was illness.
He was coming back from illness, and then the last match, he straight up like broke his arm or shoulder. Broke, like you saw that.
Yeah, because that was the match that I was like, oh my god, this is Kota. Like he's feeling back, and then he does the Phoenix Splash, and we know how that went. And
that was the G1 Climax final, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the first one of the back-to-back that Okada won.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think even New Japan, you don't need him anymore. If you're AEW and you got the money, you got the space. I mean, I don't see why not. I tweeted out like, in the new year, if you're AEW, you might have your options between Kota Ibushi or like Sasha Banks. And if you can swing it, you'll take in both, of course. But if you had the option between the two, you're in the new year.
It's more of who's easier to get, I think, for them, or it would be Ibushi.
Oh, 100% Ibushi. But if you can get Banks, you get Banks. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, Banks is going to want probably the biggest deal.
I mean, yes.
That's what it sounds like.
She wants
the biggest money contract possible.
Yeah, she'll have her own show.
Go get it.
She'll have her own show called Money Talks.
Money Talks. Yeah, she'll get the whole everything. But yeah, with Kota, it's like if you're AEW, you consider it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, I don't think it's gonna happen, but WWE is gonna consider it.
If you're WWE, you have to consider it, and you have the money, so why not?
Because they don't have any connection to New Japan. They don't give a shit. They'll sign him right up. But Ibushi doesn't present me as a guy that's like, yeah, let me go that. Like, that's not him either.
I mean,
he didn't even know who Vince McMahon was.
Which is true.
Yeah.
I don't see Ibushi going back to WWE.
I don't either, but I'm just saying they'll definitely consider,
quote unquote, going back to WWE.
Signing with WWE in the first place. Outside of the Cruiserweight class.
But the only pause I have there is like, well, he was convinced by someone to work the Cruiserweight Classic.
Sure.
Was that Triple H? In some case, if that's the case, then maybe Triple H is like, oh, wait, that guy's free? Yeah, let's pick him up.
Yeah.
I don't know, have him team up with...
They are in signing mode. Again.
Yeah. Well, re-signing mode. Have they signed anyone that hasn't previously worked for the company? Hold on. I'm like picture that gauntlet meme.
Well, no, because they would go through NXT, would they not?
Yeah.
Right.
They were rehiring like NXT people.
Yeah. So no, they have not done that. Well, Cody, but he didn't count.
Cody was but that didn't count because that was Vince. That was Vince's last big.
That's
hire.
Vince, and technically he was already there, but like, I don't know. I don't count it. He came back a very different human being.
Yeah, we'll see how he comes back. I mean,
that was Vince's doing.
Cody might come back to the Royal Rumble and get his ass kicked by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So,
I don't think he's in that match if that's the case.
But yeah, no. I mean, I think that's the only not precedent, but only possibility of WWE is that, he was talked into being in the Cruiserweight Classic by somebody, if he wants to do that, he probably could. AEW, I think, is the obvious one, but if I'm AEW, I'm like putting all that money towards Sasha Banks, and if I get Sasha Banks, or if I don't get Sasha Banks, I pick up Coda. If I do get Sasha Banks and we have enough money for it, I'm picking up Coda. They
always have enough money.
Yeah, I was like, if I have to get rid of like some, your Luthers, if I have to get rid of some of your Dark Order guys, trim the fat a little bit. Sorry, Preston Vance. If I have to, if I had to do that, if I'm Tony Khan, to bring in Sasha Banks and Kota Ibushi,
sure.
Who knows? But I think we'll see him again wrestling in 2023. I think where is going to be the eternal question.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's
move on to the last big. This is like the only really big news item, really, from this week. William Regal. What the hell's happening with this guy? After 2 write-offs on AEW television, William Regal looks to be heading back to WWE. Or not. No one knows. There are several conflicting reports about Regal's contract status, with many believing that he signed for 3 years. Some reports saying that he signed for a year, but that, still has several months to it because he signed in March. Some saying that he is like done, his contract's over. With one report, I read this report, Scotty, saying that he has a contract clause saying that if Triple H is in power, then he can leave AEW to go to WWE, which is an inane contract clause, which I don't think exists. So everything sounds super up in the air, just like a George Clooney movie. I believe it's George Clooney. But what do we think? William Regal, what's happening to this guy? Is he gone? Is he going back to WWE? Is he still in AEW? Is the write-off just like some sort of storyline bit? What's happening?
They wrote him off 2 weeks in a row. Who writes a person off 2 weeks in a row? You know what it feels like, right? Is that first time that they wrote him off, it felt like part of the story. It felt like, okay, this is where we're gonna go. We have different plans for the next couple weeks, months, so on. And then it almost felt like they were like, oh shit, Regal's actually leaving. We need to do something to benefit us before he walks out the door. That's what it feels like. Like, it felt like, all right, this is a story that we're playing out here. And then 1 week later, it's like Regal's like, yeah, I'm going back. So they're like, all right, we need to kill this then. We need to squash what happened, because how do you play this game, right? William Regal likes playing the game. How do you play the game of, okay, so if these are the agreements you had, and we don't know if it's actually like, if Triple H goes into power, you can go back. It does kind of feel that way, and because William Regal doesn't necessarily want to be an on-air guy anymore. He likes doing the finding talent and scouting and developing talent. That's what he likes doing. So it felt like, in a sense of, hey, can you help us get whoever over before you walk out, before you leave? Because in that one segment, you created the mega heel once again with MJF. And don't get me wrong, I thought the promo was a little bit here, there, and everywhere. But overall, it was a perfect execution of getting him to be full on heel, in my opinion, because you know, especially ending it with him knocking Regal out with the brass knucks. And then 2, you create a super babyface now in Bryan Danielson, kind of what they've been working towards. It's just they had to do it in the quickest possible fashion now, because it did feel like this was going to be a natural story to play up to Revolution. And now Moxley's doing a different story, right? It almost feels like they brought back Hangman. They're like, all right, let's just move on from the Regal stuff, and just which sucks for them, but it's like, well, they had stuff ready to go too. So
Yeah, I will push back on the that one weird report of having a weird contract clause that if Triple H came to power, because Triple H has been in power for months now.
right, he would have been gone.
He would have
long
been
ago.
yeah,
or he would have gave them the idea.
Yeah, Triple H has been in power since August, and it's December. You know,
He probably had an opt out
type
thing with
maybe.
his contract, like, hey, after 1 year, if you want out, you can, because that's different than just, hey, Triple H is back, I'm leaving, right? Like, that's different. 1 year opt outs. Like, I don't remember when he was released. I think it was the beginning of last year, and then he showed up at Revolution. So, give or take, depending when he signed and when they decided to put him on TV, we're approaching a year no matter what.
Yeah, he showed up at Revolution. So
Right.
When he signed the contract, who knows? I don't think that is no knowledge. We know, we know for that Tony Khan has in the past signed people way before they debuted, like Claudio. He reportedly said that he signed Claudio Bryan Danielson's like, oh, we need a guy. What about Claudio? And he's like, oh yeah, I already got him. Let's throw him in.
Let's just toss him in there. Oh, okay.
Oh, perfect. So we don't know. So let's say January to March area. Yeah. In which case, you write them off, and you can just sit on ice, sit at home for the next month to 4 months. Who knows? I mean, that's not too bad. I think you're right. I think if anything, a 1 year opt out clause is possible. I could see that. And that being, maybe that's the report of the, if Triple H comes into power, break glass in case of emergency.
To me, it would be more like, instead of like, oh, Triple H is in the power, see ya. It's instead, all right, I have an opt out at the end of each year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take it now so I can go back behind the scenes. And we also have to remember, William Regal's son works for that company too.
Yeah.
Like, there are more connections than just him being a Triple H guy. Yeah. Like, obviously they work together very closely in NXT, but his son's there, and that does play a factor too, I'm sure.
Plus, they are going back to that glocalization, as Stephanie put it, glocalization, and restarting NXT Europe. William Regal will be a good face of that brand, I would say. And then, I love my friend Louis Dangor, but
they don't.
No. But he made a good point in saying that, if he goes back to WWE, just like the Cody thing, that guy's got more AEW connections then. And if you bring him back into office, that's not good. That's not good for AEW at all. I mean, Cody's one thing, but he's just a wrestler there. Bring back Regal to office with connections to AEW talent that maybe are like, after the whole CM Punk thing, are like, I kind of want to head out.
Yeah.
It's not good. That's not good for him to go. I think he's more dangerous leaving than Cody is.
Interesting. Because Regal... So I forget who said it, but there was a report that he said no to backstage roles, too, in AEW.
Yeah,
which I find interesting. It's definitely dangerous because I'm sure he's made good connections with people outside of the Blackpool Combat Club. It's just an interesting game, though, right? Like, that we're watching here, and I keep saying game and Triple H. But this is kind of the world we're in now with wrestling, is that people are moving, people are leaving, people are, trying new things, and it's just a matter of, is there going to be like a massive shift if William Regal leaves? I don't necessarily think so. I think the people that want to leave are going to leave AEW, and the people that don't want to leave are going to stay at the end of the day. I don't think Regal will change much of that, because the four people he was connected to most all scream AEW. Right? Like,
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson, he's there for a reason. John Moxley, I mean, come on. we don't have to talk about his allegiance to AEW. Claudio's just got there. He still feels fresh in a lot of ways because he's been stuck in the same feud this whole time. Like, we haven't seen Claudio do anything else yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Plus, he has multiple years to a contract anyways. So
right.
It's not going to go anywhere any soon.
And Yuta's been used well there. Now, don't get me wrong. Yuta probably would have been in WWE if William Regal was still working in NXT and they didn't change their entire philosophy right before he was signed.
Yeah.
Right? But
he had a tryout. If I recall, he had a tryout and everything.
People were shocked that he wasn't signed, and it's because they were changing the philosophy of NXT. I remember that. I remember that report. So he's an interesting one, but not someone that I would be worried about either if I was AEW because of how well they've handled him. But it'll be a fun thing to watch, because I think you're definitely onto something, that Regal could play that pivotal role in, getting a few people over. But, I think it's all about when contracts come up too. It's like we haven't seen anyone big contract come up yet. So that'll be since what? Since Cody?
Yeah, since Cody.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, and Cody did switch. So,
there's also CM Punk that's swirling around, and who knows what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, he's supposedly still getting paid.
Yeah.
So
I think that what's interesting about Regal is that you brought up a good point about how when he came to AEW, he didn't want to be an office role. And maybe part of that is he had office connections in WWE, so he didn't want to work dirty, like that.
Right. Kind of like how Danielson, when he left, he pretty much just promised them, I won't do the yes thing.
Yeah.
Very different, but that is a respect type thing.
Very different from old school mentality. Back in the 80s, 90s, 100% were doing that shit.
Oh, yeah.
But if he comes back to WWE, what would they want his role to be? Office, on screen, or both? We've now established him as
both.
He was, both.
Technically, he was both.
Yes, technically, he was both. But I don't. Obviously, NXT general manager is not really a thing anymore.
No.
In terms of a character, he could come back and still be that. But but now he's like really been established as on screen. Not just like in an office backstage role, like once a month. And saying, yeah, let's do that match. Now it's like he's on screen every single week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so an enhanced on-screen talent. Do you want to, if you're WWE, have him more like an on-screen, like a managerial type role, like the alternate Paul Heyman? Have him team up with Kevin Owens.
His kid.
So what's that?
I'd do it for his kid, but nothing else. I think that'd be more fitting.
I agree.
Because that's literally his kid's entire gimmick from the few videos I've seen them running for him.
Yeah.
Like the hype videos. It seems like he's the wrestler's wrestler. Like he's a pro wrestler in the world of NXT where you're not a pro wrestler. Mm-hmm. You're a stupid Shawn Michaels given gimmick. So I think that would be an interesting one. You know what putting him with Cody.
I would like that. That'd be fun.
I would so do that for so many reasons. Spitefulness, number 1, 2, 3. But I do think him and Cody would work off each other very well. Because we saw Arn with Cody, right? And which was weird. that whole thing was weird in Cody's final few months. But I don't know. There's something about Cody having a manager that has always worked, and I don't think they bring in Brandy in that respect. They could, and that's when he goes heel that you bring in Brandy, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Because it works more for the heel character.
It's the what's that Tony Khan thing? That Tony Khan's like, yeah, people love Sammy, people love Ty Conti, people hate Sammy and Ty Conti. It's whenever wrestling fans see a hot couple on television, we immediately boo them.
Oh yeah, that is the thing. They get booed instantly, which is so weird, but whatever.
But I'm glad you brought up Regal of Cody. I don't think Cody would do that because I think Cody would like to talk promos too much. But I think Regal can be the Arn Rule. But conjoining that with Regal being the opposite of Heyman, and then having Regal and Cody versus Heyman and Roman.
Pretty good.
I mean,
pretty good.
There's money there. There's money there. That's AEW versus
WWE. Do they
WWE.
want that money? I don't know. But exactly. AEW versus your like super WWE guy. It's very funny saying versus WWE and Paul Heyman in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Because of all that's been through. But I mean, that guy is more in WWE now than he's ever going to be, right? Because this guy's on TV every single week.
The guy is more WWE than ECW at this point because he's
backstage at every show.
Yeah,
he's probably running some part of something. I'm sure he's booking all of Roman's story.
My tribal chief. But it's funny because both you and I are like, oh, there's money there, but then there's also you and I would be like. It's like every wrestling person where it's like, oh, there's money there, but ultimately that's the backup plan because if they get Dwayne, then it's like, oh well, yeah, you get Dwayne, you do Dwayne.
I mean, we can't be like that's the funny thing with the reports yesterday, about The Rock possibly coming in at 30 and winning. It's like, well, I can't understand why you wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can't come up with a good reason that if you have Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the biggest movie star in the world, right? And he just also happens to be one of the biggest wrestlers of all time, that you don't do that. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think The Rock and Roman Reigns need the title. However, if and as expected, when Roman wins, him standing tall with 2 titles doesn't look half bad.
Over The Rock, right? So it's like, you play the game, and I think we've gotten too close to this new WrestleMania now, where it's like, well, you can't have him lose now, before, And I saw some people pitch like, well, what if he loses on night 1 to Cody, then beats The Rock on night 2? I was like, that's so backwards. Like, what? Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, so timeout. You want him to lose, which is like the biggest loss we've seen in WWE in a long time because this guy hasn't lost.
Yep.
And then you want him to face The Rock the next day. Just, all right, cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. It won't probably ruin the match for spectators that don't, like, for casual people. But for people that just think about it for 2 seconds, like, oh, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
To have him lose. You would have to do The Rock night 1, which they're not going to do because night 2's your main night, even though I hate the night 1, night 2 conversation. It's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, now that we're talking about The Rock, moving on from William Regal a little bit, I have been thinking about this. It has to, if The Rock doesn't come out to the Royal Rumble, we will have I don't know if it'll be that scale in the moment, but a Daniel Bryan-esque. Like, and if let's say Cody wins the Royal Rumble, he will get booed.
I think it has to be Rock and Cody.
Well, I think Cody will get booed if he's not The Rock. Honestly, I think Cody is the right decision, but I think if it's like number 30, 3, 2, 1, I came to play, and the price of the game, and then everyone's gonna boo the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then that Cody wins or whatever.
The only reason I don't worry too much about that is because there's not enough dirt sheet WWE fans.
That's true.
Completely turn the tide.
That's true. They haven't really hinted at it on that.
Yeah, you have to remember, like, the reason they turned the tide with Daniel Bryan is there were a lot of those fans were still like the hardcore fans,
Yeah,
as well as casual fans. Everyone liked Daniel Bryan, but if you have no idea that The Rock might be coming back,
yes,
it's like, oh well, okay, cool. But Cody, you know, he's the guy that I'm sure if you're a casual fan, you kind of connect the dots that, oh, maybe he comes back here. I mean, I hope you figure that out by now.
Yeah,
that an injury that's, you know, sets you up perfectly for the Royal Rumble means you might probably come back in the Royal.
Maybe. But yeah, no,
we'll see.
I'm
just gonna do Cody and Seth again.
I think the perfect thing is you just do Cody as the Ric Flair, have him come in at number 2, have him wrestle the entire match. Then it's like Cody, Rollins, Dwayne, final 3. Rollins as Sid Vicious for some reason in this situation. And then you cause a situation where, you know, Dwayne is eliminated in you know all this other stuff. Dwayne gets eliminated and Cody wins. So it's like, you know, maybe like
there is a dangerous game if Dwayne gets eliminated.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that. Oh no, you play into it more. Sub out Seth Rollins. Throw in Sami Zayn. There we go. So it's Sami Zayn, Cody, and Dwayne. And then Sami Zayn eliminates Dwayne The Rock Johnson. and then I'm doing it perfectly. And then Dwayne gets all mad and pulls Sammy out of the ring. And then they fight.
Here's why I don't have a problem with Dwayne The Rock Johnson winning the Royal Rumble, is that this is what happens when you have one world title right now, and you have a match that sets up the main event of WrestleMania. It's like, how do you work around that unless you have that person win?
Yeah,
that's like with Brock last year. People were so mad, and I was like, well, if that's the WrestleMania main event, what do you want them to do?
Yeah, they're trapped in,
right? Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. We didn't need all the titles to be combined, but whatever. They're so, like, clearly the titles are going to be split up, because I think that was the latest report that before the draft they're going to be split up or something, or in the draft they're going to be split up. But it's like, okay, but how are you going to split them up?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that, I keep referencing the Ric Flair Royal Rumble because honestly I think that's the best Cody
that was a vacant
analog.
title.
Yeah, wasn't that for a vacant title?
Yeah, so if you wanted to play and have Roman drop, just be like, yeah, here you go, have a belt, and just put the belt on the line of the Rumble, you could do that. But
and then you have Cody win it at the Royal Rumble. I don't know.
That's not how Cody gets his moment. At least in my booking, it's not. I think you have. You know what you could do? Could do this. Galaxy brain thinking. You could have Rollins come in at like whatever. He wins the title by screwing Cody, right? You can do that like thing that they love to do of how like Seth is out of the ring and he sneaks back in and dumps Cody over, and when everyone thinks Cody won the world title, and then you could just do that at WrestleMania if you really wanted to.
Cody but then I don't know.
I feel like if Cody's not wrestling Roman, he's going to wrestle Seth.
Yeah, I know.
Which is so weird because that's literally all Cody's done.
I know. I want to see him wrestle someone else, so many other people in that roster. But yeah. Anyways, that's William Regal talk.
We have two things left, and they're just previews. So this is a quick show, folks.
Yeah. But yeah, no, William Regal. I think if he returns his on-screen talent, that's fine. Maybe throw him in NXT Europe. If he turns an office, I would be concerned if I was TK. But we'll find out. Anyways, this Saturday, two massive shows for two sub-brands of a company. Ring of Honor, Final Battle, happening this Saturday. Death Before... Oh, wait, no. I wrote Death Before Dishonor. It's Final Battle. Ring of Honor Final Battle is happening this Saturday, Arlington, Texas. This Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then 4 hours later, assuming Ring of Honor is not 4 hours or goes over 4 hours, NXT Deadline is happening this Saturday, also at 8 p.m. EST in the Performance Center of Orlando, Florida. So 2 big shows. 2 big shows for 2 B brands.
Let's be careful with the big shows.
Well, the B brand, the B in B brand stands for big. So big shows for B brands. I say that, but Ring of Honor is looking pretty good. Deadline looks interesting.
Is it?
There's 4 matches there.
I'm about to see the Gun Club. What happened to the Kingdom?
Who?
Is that how has this happened? How has the Kingdom just disappeared from existence? Is anyone else thinking about that, or is that just me?
You're always thinking about the Kingdom.
I guess so. Like I said this on Twitter that I don't want to hear shit from the people that are complaining about the Kingdom coming in when you're about to get the Gun Club versus FTR on a pay-per-view. I don't want to hear shit because Kingdom versus FTR would probably kick ass. Gun Club versus FTR, who cares?
To be fair, match has not been announced yet as of press time, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But let's go through the order of the day, starting off with Ring of Honor Final Battle. We have 4 matches currently announced. Let's start off with the match that was announced last Friday on Rampage.
Rampage, baby. Sorry.
Samoa Joe will be defending his Ring of Honor television title against one Juice Robinson. Bullet Club's Juice Robinson. Thoughts?
He's signed.
Yeah, he's signed. They officially said that he is part of AEW.
But he didn't get a graphic?
He has not gotten a graphic yet.
So he's not signed.
No.
You can't be signed if you're not getting a graphic.
That's true.
You can't be. Sorry, folks. You just can't be. Until you get a graphic, you're not signed. It's not happening. So it's some sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not signed.
That's
a fun match to just kind of toss on. I watched Jake something versus Juice Robinson from last week's Strong. I think I watched it yesterday.
Oh, they didn't get a graphic. Excalibur noted on commentary that Robinson had signed with the company, and that challenging Joe was the first act as an official roster member. But continue.
It's a little sus that he still hasn't got a graphic. So again, not official till he gets a graphic.
Fair enough.
But I watched Juice versus Jake something. It was really good. All this is to say that I really like Juice, and I know some people have kind of soured on him through the years, and he's definitely not been him through the years too, but I liked this rock hard gimmick that he's going with. Now, don't get me wrong, it has kind of died down, and I don't think New Japan knew what to do with him after... I don't know. They've been through so much with that U.S. title, and then they got it on Ospreay, and they're like, all right, we're just going to settle here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think he's a good ad for whether it be Ring of Honor or AEW or both, or he's going to keep working here and New Japan. And him versus Joe's an interesting match. It's definitely an interesting, intriguing match to have on a card where nothing sort of made sense. Like outside of the main event, everything kind of just feels tossed together in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a good tossed together match.
I'm glad you talked about roster. So I found out today, and don't look this up because I'm going to quiz you. I found out today that Ring of Honor updated their website finally.
Oh, I literally just went on the website, but I didn't see anything.
Don't look at the roster page.
Except that it's white.
Yes, it's white now. But they have a new roster page. They have pictures of champions and everything, and they have a list of active and have lists of alumni. Oh, that's interesting. Of
Honor Club's still a thing. It says
yes.
Honor Club at the top. I haven't looked into the roster yet, but it's still a thing.
Yes, it's still a thing.
That's wild.
Yes, they have a streaming service. And they've updated the streaming service website. I mean, they have a 2022 section with
I was gonna say it's
Claudio.
so much of a thing that the pay-per-views are on there.
Yeah.
This year's pay-per-views are on there.
Yeah. So, I mean, Ring of Honor has a streaming service.
Running a business comes with pressure. Remote workforces, HR compliance, retaining top talent. You start to feel boxed in. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Instead of obstacles, I'm surrounded by people empowered to be their best. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Get ready, Ohio. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to the Buckeye State. And to kick things off, you can get started with $100 in free bets as an early sign-up bonus. Plus, when you sign up today with promo code OhioSB, you'll be all set for when FanDuel goes live in Ohio. Then you can bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports with $100 in free bets. Just download FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Ohio, this is your chance to get in on the action. Join today with promo code OhioSB. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Ohio. Bonus issued in non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after FanDuel accepts its first real money sports wager in Ohio on 1/1/23. Unique user identity verification required. Offer ends on the go-live date. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Peloton's best offer of the season is here. Get up to $600 off Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, or Tread packages. Choose the package that's right for you with accessories like our cycling shoes, a heart rate band, non-slip grip dumbbells, and more. If you've been looking for a sign to join Peloton, this offer gives you everything you need to get going. This limited time offer ends December 6th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 6, 2022. Excludes Bike, Bike Plus, and Tread Basics. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
Get your act together, AEW. Let's talk about this roster page. So there are 8, 9, 10, I guess technically 11 people on this roster page. I want to quiz you. Who is listed as active wrestlers for Ring of Honor right now? December 4, 2022.
Dalton Castle,
1,
the boys.
2, 3.
I don't even think the champions are. That's are they? Any of them?
Ask me a name. Give me a name.
Mercedes Martinez?
4. You had 4. Can you name the other? It looks like you're blanking on the other Ring of Honor.
No, I know
champions.
the other champions. I'm just wondering. Is Jericho on here?
5.
Oh, he is. Okay,
Yeah.
so all the champions.
Okay, so I'll add that in there. So Daniel Garcia
FTR.
6, FTR 7 and 8.
Is that all the champions? I got the 6 men. These are all the champions. Yeah, because I named them 6 men.
Samoa Joe.
Mojo. Okay.
And you have 2 people. 2 people left. 2 people who, not champions, not 6 men. The only people that are the only people who are not champions that are on this list.
Jay Lethal?
No?
No. Who the hell?
I'll give you a hint.
Cabana.
Not the
Cole
Kingdom.
Cabana?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Cole Cabana is listed in the alumni section.
Oh,
Interesting enough. The Kingdom also listed in the alumni section.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Prince Nana listed. This alumni section's wild. We'll get back to it. But continue.
Brian Cage?
Nope.
Khan and
Nope.
Beats of Agony? What the frick?
Nope.
Can I just check?
I'll tell you right now. The only 2 people that are listed on here that are not champions, the Briscoes. Jay and Mark Briscoe.
Ah, right.
Now, let's go through this alumni section real quick. Okay, I'm just going to go through this and tell me if these names blow your gourd. Because the alumni section is small. It's a small list of
Who they cared to put on there?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I clicked it. I had to click it.
Yeah. So there's some great names on here. We got Bully Ray, we got Cody, we got CM Punk, BJ Whitmer, Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles, Colt Cabana, Danhausen, Kevin Steen, Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, Matt Nick Jackson, Tyler Black, Rhett Titus, my boy. Punishment Martinez. Jay Lethal. I'm just bouncing around. Alex Shelley.
What earned specific people this right to be on the alumni section?
Well, they used to work for
Why did they feel the need to keep Bully Ray? Why did they feel the need?
Of all, this is a chosen list of alumni, by the way.
Oh, it absolutely is. Why is Punishment Martinez so important? What? I know you like Red Titus, but look at the rest of this crew.
Yeah.
Red Titus is the only one not signed to a major company. BJ Whitmer is different. He's old.
Well, he's also a producer
backstage for them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, okay, my point exactly. So, like, what?
I think you're right, by the way. I think
also, they only have Alex Shelley. They don't have Chris Sabin.
Nope.
None of this makes sense. They have CM Punk holding the world title, which is very funny. They don't have any other picture of CM Punk in history. They just have him holding the Ring of Honor world title.
No.
That's wild. All of this is wild. This entire website's wild. The roster is just the Briscoes. That's what the roster is.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't have champions, they wouldn't have a roster.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
They have no idea where they're going with this brand.
I think they have ideas. I don't think they know.
He bought the library and he was like, shit, why did I keep this active? Why didn't I just pull a WWE and just nuke it?
Yeah, this is it's a wild alumni page.
Oh, you know what I hate, folks? People that are listening, my least favorite part of this whole entire thing.
Why is Juice not on the alumni page?
Good point. Leader of Lifeblood. I hate that every single title is different. It's bothering the crap out of me. We have 7 different logos. We have 7, like, having different designs obviously is great, but oh my god, different logos? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get a whole new batch of belts.
It's all about the legacy of Ring of Honor. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but when the tag titles look like the world title, it's like, what are we doing?
That's fair. Anyways, Final Battle. Final Battle. You said it already. Mercedes Martinez versus Athena, Women's World Championship match. I think you're right. This very much felt to me as sort of a thrown together match here to go off the feud. Were they feuding beforehand? I don't remember.
No, I think Mercedes had the match with Deeb at Death Before Dishonor.
Yeah.
She got hurt.
She got hurt in that match?
In the match or right after, or something like that. And then she just came back right before this pay-per-view, and they're like, all right, we need someone to go against. It does feel like she's probably losing the belt too.
I mean, I would probably drop the title.
This Ring of Honor Women's World title has had one wild road in its first year.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta remember, this has only been a year long, so of course we have Roxy win it. Big time potential there on the last show that they ever did. By the way, am I wrong? Was it not the last show they ever did under the Sinclair?
No, she won it beforehand.
Are you sure?
I'm fairly sure. Are you
positive?
I'm fairly sure.
Was that Final Battle last year?
Let me look into it. I don't think so. I really don't think so.
It was Final Battle last year.
Oh, it was really? Oh, great. Oh no, it was.
No, you're right. That was her first defense or something because she faced Willow.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound
okay.
Right.
What a weird show.
And then she defended against Holodead, apparently.
Oh, on like one of the tape shows?
Yeah,
maybe?
That wasn't even her final defense. Her final defense was against Holodead, technically.
Final defense technically was an Impact. Just saying.
Good point.
So this is how the title goes, right? They crown Roxy. Roxy, big potential, clear, great grab by them. She loses it to Deonna Purrazzo in Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Roxy's out of here. She goes to WWE. Deonna Purrazzo's still in Impact. Tony Khan buys the company. Tony Khan's like, we can't get Deonna on the show, so we're going to do an interim title with Mercedes and... Was it Willow?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we just tossed Willow into all scenarios. So they do that, right? And then Mercedes versus Deanna in some like weird main event on Dynamite that
in Baltimore, Maryland.
In Baltimore, Maryland, where no one really knew how to feel.
It was a 4.85 on Cage Match.
Yeah, yikes. Mercedes wins. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. Yep. I get it, right? And Mercedes gets hurt after her first defense on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, she defends it 4 times on Dark against Trisha Dora, High-End, Maserati, and Viva Vaughn. Then she defends it against Serena Deeb at Death Before Dishonor, wins the match, has a match a day later against Vita Von Starr in New Wrestling, and is injured at some point, comes back in November 16th, wrestles a match on Dark Elevation, has a couple matches on some other indie shows, and in Australia, and then she came back on recently.
Yeah, let's just crown a theme and move on.
I think that's where our plan is here. Moving down the line, Ring of Honor Pure Championship match. Daniel Garcia versus Wheeler Yuta. I mean, this rivalry has obviously been going on all year, but I think this is a nice little, again, another Ring of Honor Pure match between these two guys. The last match was pretty good. I think the rivalry... I think this is a good follow-up match to have pay-per-view to pay-per-view for Ring of Honor. But knowing that like this rivalry has been on ice for a little bit, and now they're reviving it, I think on this Go Home episode coming up, they really have to do something to really sell this match. Because I like the wrestlers, I like the feud when they were having it, but it's been on ice for too long, and we need to revive it.
I laughed out loud when the way they made the match happen. I was like, all right. I mean, I knew this was going to be the match because there was clearly no other way to go for Garcia, but you iced it so bad that it's like, okay, sure, let's just run this back again.
My favorite part was Renee being like, all right, I guess you have it. Ring of Honor, it's going to be this match.
Yeah, she was like, all right, whatever.
Sure.
This is kind of the embodiment of Ring of Honor right now, though. It's like, yes, we're running feuds, but they're AEW feuds that happen to involve Ring of Honor titles. And then when it gets to the actual Ring of Honor shows, it's like, yeah, this makes sense. It's 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
And this was Tony Khan's problem for a while with pay-per-views back like a year ago. It's like where he would just toss matches on to shows and we'd have them. He still does that. But at least for his main feuds, it kind of makes sense. For the main feud here, I'll give him credit. Like Jericho and Claudio have clearly been the direction this whole time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like I've seen it 100 times already. So it's like, how excited can I be?
Sure.
Also,
sure.
But whatever. I mean, Garcia and Yuta will be fine, but it's pure rules, so I don't get my hopes up.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think the feud has been on ice for a little too long. I don't know what they're going to do on Wednesday, but they definitely need to heat this bad boy up. Need to do something, or at least that's on Rampage or whatever. Yeah, no, it's the thing of, again, Ring of Honor doesn't have television, but then when you try to run the feud on TV, people say this is just Ring of Honor. I don't want to watch it, and then people complain about running it on AEW television. And then when he doesn't run on AEW television, the feud gets cold. And they try to have the feud again on the pay-per-view. So you can't win them all.
They need a Ring of Honor show.
And to be fair, according to Tony Khan and that last press conference, we should be hearing something about it soon.
They should probably announce it on this show.
I think they will be. I really believe that they will be announcing it on this show. Ring of Honor television.
They got good champions. That's the funny thing with Ring of Honor. It's like, you look at the champions they got going, it's like,
oh yeah,
this is good.
Yeah, they have a great great roster. Great roster. Really good roster.
Yeah, the only problem is I think their roster disappears when they lose titles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would definitely toss a Briscoe match on this show, as well as a trios match, I guess.
Yeah, I think we're still going to get that. This is what I think is going to happen. I think we're still going to get a trios match. I think it's going to be Cage and the Gates of Agony versus Castle and the Boys. Sorry, Castle and the Boys. I think you're right. I think a Briscoes match is a good idea. I think if you're going to do the Gun Club versus FTR, oof, then do the Briscoes versus the Kingdom. Yeah. Run it back from a year ago. You know,
Number one contenders match. Boom. Done.
Yeah, you know how much you and I love that match from last year.
It was phenomenal. I had no right to be that good.
No right. So let's do it again. You do that. You know. You know,
how is this show selling?
They teased Shane Taylor coming back on.
They announced that match, did they not?
Yeah, they did. I don't. Oh yeah. No, was that for Final Battle?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, great. Okay,
Swerve in Our Glory.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve and Keith Lee, which is again kind of weird, but you know.
Well,
I like the way they're doing it.
Is it official that it's Swerve in Our Glory? Where they left it was sort of like,
well, that's
Keith Lee and you'll better find somebody.
It seems like it'll be. I think it's Swerve in Our Glory versus Shane Taylor, and I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who JD Griffey is.
JD Griffey is a old Ring of Honor guy. He has not been around. I mean, he's still around, but he used to. I believe he used to be like part of that same group. I don't know, man. I mean, this guy hasn't been around forever.
Oh, they've sold good tickets. Oh no. Oh, no.
Hit me.
They got like so they've sold almost all of around the ring except for like they're charging 300 tickets for second row, so that's tough. So those tickets haven't sold yet on like there's an entire row open down like the entrance ring.
Yeah.
Almost there's an entire second row almost open. But like the surrounding, it is absolutely. There are so many open spots. Some of them haven't even sold a seat in parts of them.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about. It's like, you know, people complain about them doing Ring of Honor television on TV, and then when he decides, all right, I won't do it, then you got a cold ass show.
They're only $45. Everywhere besides ringside is $45.
Yeah. If I was Tony Khan, I would have booked more of this show on my AEW television. I would have booked more of it on Rampage specifically. No one's watching it anyway, so who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if it's on Rampage? That's what I would have done if I was Tony Khan.
Rampage really should have just been Ring of Honor for a while there.
I agree, but then people were complaining about, it's. I don't want to see Ring of Honor. I can't. The titles confuse me.
You get to see QT Marshall then. Congratulations.
Yeah, so
you're in that one.
Yeah, no, but that's what I would have done. But TK obviously did not do that. But now we're here. We got a cold show that's not selling. It's selling okay. It's not selling.
It's selling okay.
It's not selling perfectly.
But also let's remember it starts at like
4 p.m.
Yeah, Eastern.
Yeah,
they're in Texas.
Yeah, they're in Texas.
So it's like, is it 2 or 3?
It would be like 3, I think, in Texas.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It sounds fun. Go to a wrestling show, have the rest of your night.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I know why he's doing it. He's trying not to compete with UFC. I think I saw.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, this is extreme. Like, people are gonna watch your show. They're not gonna watch your show.
Yeah. No, it's tough. It's a tough spot to be in for Ring of Honor. But you know, I'm still gonna watch it. I think it's still gonna be good. Like yes, it's cold, but I think people are saying similar things about Full Gear. That show was awesome. 2, I think it's like, I think that's one of AEW's weirdly best qualities about AEW is that, you know, they need to be better on like the hype and everything. They used to be really good at hype very early on. Yeah. And now they have to actively do the hype. You know, they can't just announce something and it's going to happen anymore. But now that we're here, they need to be doing something that's like They need to blow my mind. They need to blow my gourd. And I think they have AEW has the ability to blow out expectations. And they constantly do it all the time. Whenever I think something's not going to be good, my expectations get blown out. And I think this show has the chance to be that. I think there's certainly a chance. And we'll have more matches announced too. Ring of Honor World Title match, main event, Chris Jericho versus Claudio Castagnoli. This really feels like Claudio is going to win here. I would be very surprised if Chris Jericho won and retained, but I would love it. I think that would be awesome if Chris Jericho retained. I don't think it's going to be happening here, though. What do you think?
I don't. With the Regal stuff, it's really started to toss me back and forth on the Blackpool Combat Club future in itself, because it's like the group kind of feels like it's starting to just not be together, which is really funny because we didn't get them together all that much at all. But why do you put the Ring of Honor World Title on Chris Jericho to begin with, right? It was to me to try to sell a show, to try to sell Ring of Honor, and we haven't even got there yet.
Yeah,
in terms of a show. And then you create a story where Claudio has to join JAS, so that makes you think, well, I don't know if they're going to do that. But he was a sports entertainer. I think Claudio probably wins, but I wouldn't be shocked if Jericho won.
Fun fact: this isn't his 8th defense. This would be a 7th defense. But if you include the match where he won the title, this is Chris Jericho's 8th Ring of Honor World Title match.
He's got him in. We'll give him credit for that. He has gotten them in.
The Ocho. The 8th.
The Ocho.
It's all aligned.
Ocho has done a really good job at being Ring of Honor World Champion. I know people like Jericho's been an interesting topic because like he's had a impressive comeback, and he's bounced back this year, been shaping his life, and but he's been in the same feud for who knows how long, so that's frustration. Yeah, but he's done good.
Yeah, I think this match should be really good. Great, maybe. I think Claudio is definitely going to win it here.
This man has won so many titles. Holy shit.
Yeah, we're talking about Chris Jericho?
Yeah.
I think Claudio is definitely going to win it here. Honestly, I think Chris Jericho's a better idea, though. I think you keep the title on Chris Jericho. He's been doing great stuff. Honestly doing great work. You're selling that TV. Why not sell it? Continue to sell it with Jericho. I would totally be okay if Claudio lost. I think he's going to win. But I would almost prefer it if Jericho retained the title because I've been liking what he's been doing. Yeah, I agree that I'm kind of over the JAS BCC stuff. I do think the Ocho revitalized it a little bit for me, and not just for me, but for like Jericho as a whole. But I think that just continue it. I'm not over the Ocho. I'm not over. I'm not over any of this other stuff. I just continue Chris Jericho. I've honestly been loving what Chris Jericho has been doing. And I would love to see him take on someone else and continue that Ring of Honor stuff. What is that something else? What else is he doing? I don't know who else he would face. Maybe he faces the Kingdom. I don't know, the Briscoes? Chris Jericho versus the Briscoes? That's fun. A short little mini feud there. I don't know what he could do. But I think the idea of him putting over new, younger talent and establishing the roster in that way, like he did with his first world title reign, I think that's what you do. I think that's what I would like to see. And I would like to see
if it matters to anyone, because I do think this matters. He is nowhere remotely close to records, so he should just keep the belt. Like, he's never going to touch the defense record. Not going to happen. Not a shot.
What's that defense record?
I know Danielson had like 40. He defended that thing on like every match.
Jesus Christ. Danielson having 40 defenses? Oh, man. Yeah, no. I think you just keep it on Jericho. Honestly, I think you just keep it on Jericho, Scotty. I think that's just what you got to do. I think that's the perfect thought, to have Jericho still in it. I don't see any reason not to have Jericho. And Claudio, he'll be fine. I think Claudio serves that sort of Adam Page role of like, he'll get back to it. He won it once, constantly working on getting back to it. I think you start establishing that journey. I think here is where you really establish that journey of getting back to it. And I think, that because that also shows that you start having that sort of world title storyline set up for your television. Who else Jericho faces? I have no idea. Let's look at that roster page. The Briscoes, I guess. Maybe Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe loses to Juice, maybe. I don't know. He hasn't done Samoa Joe, I don't think. Scotty left the call, so I'm waiting for him to come back.
I apologize.
There
I apologize.
Were you counting?
It was either that or you were going to hear my dog barking forever, so I had to let him go.
Yeah, no worries. I was about to say, I was like, he's probably just counting all of Bryan Danielson's title defenses.
It was a total of 38 successful defenses.
Yeah, so Jericho's nowhere close to that. I think ultimately you just I don't see any reason to get the title off of him. I think you can establish the long-term world title storyline today. Like, Final Battle is when you establish the storyline of Claudio trying to get back into it. That sort of Adam Page idea. Jericho can go off and do other things. Claudio can go off and do other things. You have two big storylines that you can help bolster Ring of Honor television with. Jericho can feud with the Briscoes. Jericho can feud with Samoa Joe. He can feud with other people. Let's look at that alumni page. Bring back Christopher Daniels. You can feud with him. I don't know. Feud with Bully Ray.
Claudio would really benefit from leaving the Ring of Honor stuff, because he's done the same thing since he debuted. Hasn't changed even a little bit.
Yeah.
So
that's why I also think losing is a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
I think him losing will give him a new dimension that he needs.
Also, Takeshi Morishita's title reign is the wildest thing you'll ever see.
What do you mean?
Because he had a lot of matches, not reigns, but just kind of like career. Do you know he had matches in WWE?
Really?
Yeah, he had 2 dark matches randomly, where he beat Charlie Haas and Jamie Noble.
Oh, he won them too.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at his thing, because I went down the world title reign rabbit hole to see if anyone had beaten Danielson's mark. Nigel McGuinness had 38. What did Samoa Joe have? He had less than both. So there's your interesting facts of the day, people. That Jericho's not touching this record, but I think keeping the title on him, like you said, it'd be a good choice.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason not to. It's working, so why not? Speaking about working, I guess NXT Deadline is also happening this Saturday at 8 p.m. EST in Orlando, Florida. A couple matches announced so far, really just 3, with more on this way, presumably this Tuesday. And then I guess 2 confirmations on those matches as well. This is the show where we're getting the Iron Survivor Challenge, I guess, actually is part of that match type. But we'll be getting 2 Iron Survivor challenges.
Can I read everyone the rules? They're very funny.
Please do, because I was just looking them up.
Yes. The rules for the Iron Survivor Challenge are as follows, as per WWE.com. So this is as official as it gets. You ready? All right. So 5 superstars will compete in this unique 25-minute match as they battle each other and the clock. 2 superstars will start the match at every 5 minutes. A new superstar will enter the match until all 5 are in the ring. The goal is to have the most falls when the clock hits 25 minutes. Falls can be won at any time by pinfall, submission, or disqualification. Oh, dear God. When a superstar scores a fall, they will earn a point. However, when a superstar loses a fall, the superstar must pay the penalty. They are forced out of the ring and into a penalty box for 90 seconds. Once the 90 seconds are up, the superstar can re-enter the match. The superstar who scored the most falls when the clock hits 25 minutes will be named the Iron Survivor and become the #1 contender to the NXT Championship and NXT Women's Championship, respectively.
So, if you get a point, you try to get the most points possible.
There's 3 in the match for this show.
Yep. If you're trying to get as many points as possible, if you get a point, that's great. If you lose a point, you have to suffer and go into a penalty box. I'm gonna bet you $100, Scotty, that I don't own, that the first person that goes into a penalty box will be because of a disqualification. That would be the
$100. All right,
the punishment. And it'll be like Grayson.
Imaginary dollars.
It'll be like Grayson Waller or something. Which, I mean, to that point, 2 Iron Survivor matches, challenge matches, right? Iron Survivor Challenge. I keep forgetting. It should just be Iron Survivor, not Challenge. They're both #1 contenders. I heard this when I was listening to Voices of Wrestling, and they talked about with the War Games about how having 2, the downside of having more like of the women inclusion matches are now there's always going to be 2 of them on a show. There's always now going to be 2 Royal Rumbles, always 2 Hell in a Cells, 2 Money in the Banks, 2 Iron Survivors. And in a match that we have never seen before, they are going to do pretty much every idea they have in a match that we've never seen before over the course of 25 minutes total for one match. Over the course of 50 minutes, we're going to see every idea they can come up with for this Iron Survivor gimmick. And it lives or dies. We have no idea if this gimmick will work. And after the first match, we'll know if it works or not. And then we'll have to see a second one. You know? That is the concern of these new gimmicks. I've said it before when they announced it. I like the new gimmicks. I like that they're testing out gimmicks in NXT. I think that's a good idea. I just have concerns of, if you're testing it out, why do it twice in one night? Unless the matches are going to be rapidly different, like the match styles are rapidly different. In which case, I don't know how they would be rapidly different, but I'm not a wrestler. That's their job to figure out. So I do have reservations when it comes to that. But do you want to talk about the Iron Survivor Challenge matches, Scotty?
Yeah, I mean, the women's one's going to be so bad.
All right, so that woman's one. Zoe Stark, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, which you would think this match is built perfectly for Roxanne Perez.
Should be the Roxanne Perez match.
Kiara James, you all remember.
I don't even know who that is.
Sorry, Kiana James, my apologies.
I've never went into a show not knowing who someone is. I don't know who she is.
She was on Dark 3 times.
Oh, wow! What a career!
Christina K. Remember her? Tina K.
No,
she was on Dark. So okay. Kiana James. She wrestled on Dark for AEW 4 times. She had
wrestled 41 matches.
She had 2 indie matches for Daily Wrestling. Right? Stay with me. And then she was signed with WWE after a tryout. So she had 6 matches. And then she signed with WWE in February.
They put her on Main Event with Asuka.
Yeah.
She also beat Dana Brooke on main event.
Mm-hmm. Well, after losing to Dana Brooke the week before.
She beat Thea Hale, who I actually know who she is.
But yeah, she's practically a nobody. She has 41 matches to her name.
and 35 of them have come in WWE.
I don't know who she was trained by. She was trained by Shawn Spears and Tyler Breeze from Flatbacks. She's a Flatbacks graduate.
She's had a lot of televised matches that I couldn't tell you about.
But it's going to be those four. And
where's Ivy Nile? I know who Ivy Nile is. She's good.
Well, not in here. There is a mystery.
Not even in the wild card match.
There is a wild card match because my favorite thing about this is having a 5-person debate on who to enter in this match with Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, D-O-double-G, X-Pac, 1-2-3 Kid, Alundra Blaze, Molly Holly for some reason. And for both of these Iron Survivors, they could not come to a consensus on what 5 people should be in this match. So they came up with 8 people and then just did a wild card. I don't know if the wild card was always planned from the beginning, but I just think that's funny. Anyways, the wild card match is happening this Tuesday for the women's. It's going to be triple threat. It's going to be Wendy Chu, Fallon Henley. Do you know who Fallon Henley is?
No.
She's the girl cowboy of Brooks and Jensen.
I just want to point out to everyone,
Josh Briggs and Brooks and Jensen.
Kiana James has 3 wins on NXT television,
but she had a great year.
She had a great year, so she was instantly in the match.
But not Wendy Chu. Not Fallon Henley.
No, Ivy Nile, for example.
Mm-hmm.
She beat her last televised match. She beat Kiana James.
That's hilarious.
That really worked in my favor there. But she has had one televised match on non NXT Level Up since September. So that was a tag team match.
That tells me that WWE sees something in Kiana James, but not necessarily Ivy Nile yet. Because they've been putting Kiana James on main event with Asuka, with Dana Brooke and all these other people.
Which is really funny because Ivy Nile wins all her matches.
Mm-hmm.
Kiana James does not.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Iron Survivor Challenge wild card match that's happening this Tuesday. Wendy Chu, Fallon Henley, and Indy Hartwell. One of those 3 women will win their match and then have to face Kiana James, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Zoe Stark for the Iron Survivor Challenge, NXT Women's Title, #1 contendership. Who do you think is it gonna be? Are you excited, Scotty? Who's your pick? Who's your pick?
This is gonna be so bad.
Out of these 7 women, who do you think is gonna be?
As the winner?
As the winner. Who is your new #1 contenders?
It should be Roxanne.
Yeah, that's it.
Roxanne should be winning this match and beating Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose currently not defending her title at the show.
Hallelujah.
She's currently not defending her title.
Well, she can go against the Nikita Lyons, who got dragon screwed by nobody.
Don't know what's happening there. Yeah, I think it should be Roxanne. I don't think it's going to be anybody else.
It should be. Will it be? Who the hell knows?
I don't know. I think it should be Kiana James, honestly. Is Kiana James the one that has like the accountant gimmick?
She has glasses on, so I'm going to go with yes.
Oh no. That's she has glasses, so sure.
I don't know. You don't usually have glasses on wrestlers. I'm sorry.
Does she wear the glasses in the ring?
I don't even know who she is, and you're asking me questions if she wears them to the ring. By the way, Meltzer reported that Regal's gone.
Oh, great. As of today?
Let me go.
Okay, while you look this up, I'll read this. A decorated
please.
entrepreneur, Kiana James uses her cunning intelligence to outwit the competition in the boardroom and in the squared circle. Why is she here if she's in the boardroom? As fierce as she is calculating, James shows no mercy, cleverly using her research to outmaneuver any opposition. Although new to the ring, James has quickly begun to climb the ladder, outlasting 26 other superstars to become one of the final 4 women left standing in a massive number 1 contender 30-woman battle royal. Kiana James is so good, Scotty, that she, out of 30 people, was the 4th to last eliminated. Pretty good. Pretty good. Good for her. Good for her. Out of all 30 women, she was the 4th to last eliminated. Good for her.
Embarrassing stuff. Embarrassing stuff.
With plenty of experience climbing the ranks in the corporate world, it's seemingly only a matter of time before James rises to the top of NXT. Anyways, I think it should be her, undoubtedly. Anyways, let's talk about the next one. NXT title number 1 contendership Iron Survivor Challenge match. JD McDonough, great year. Joe Gacy, even better year. Carmelo Hayes, the only one that has the honest to God actual resume to be on this list. Grayson Waller, all right. Yeah, all right.
I've seen all three of the 4 lose repeatedly every time I've ever watched NXT.
Yeah.
2 of them, which I think have lost multiple times to Braun Breaker.
Yeah. But let's talk about that wild card, because you have to think.
They don't even have it announced, do they?
The wild card? No, we do.
Yeah.
We do. Here we go. Ready?
It doesn't say it on this preview.
Oh, well, strap in. Here we go. Andre Chase, Axiom,
Oh, sweet.
and Von Wagner. Remember when we hit that lady with the ladder?
Von Wagner just had an NXT title match.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he lost.
Well, he has another shot here because he had a great year.
What happened to Dragunov?
Who?
Ilya?
I've never heard of him.
Oh, all right. Well,
Never heard of him. Does he wrestle? Is he a leader of a corporate world?
What happened to Tyler Bate?
Who? Who are these
What
guys
happened to all
you're
the
talking
good
about?
people? Why do we keep putting the good people in some random
Scotty,
little shack on the side
they
of the
aren't
road?
good people. If they had a good year, they would be in this match, like JD McDonough, Joe Gacy, Grayson Waller, and probably, you know, who deserves to be in this match, my boy, Axiom and Andre Chase. They deserve to be in this match. They had good years. Not this Tyler Bate fellow. Not this Ilya Dragunov guy. No, Andre Chase deserves to be in this match. Who do you think? Who do you think's gonna win this one?
Jay McDonough has lost 2 NXT title matches already. Okay, just play this game with me. Joe Gacy, I know for a fact has, because I've watched his matches and they were bad.
Carmelo Hayes. I don't think
he lost his. He had 2 straight matches of losing NXT title matches on TV. He lost it at Spring Break-In and In Your House. So there you go. He lost back-to-back NXT title matches there.
Spring Break-In, was that a real show?
It was an NXT TV special.
Oh, okay. So no.
No. He lost to Cedric Alexander on Main Event most recently. They also lost the Schism or whatever the fuck they're called. Lost to Cameron Grimes and the OC. Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
Oh, but he did beat Cameron Grimes in a regular match. That was his last televised NXT title.
Great year, though. Great year, though. Great year.
By default, it has been a great year for Joe Gacy. This is all shit. It's all bad.
What about Grayson Waller? Did he win his feud against Apollo Crews?
I don't remember. I doubt it, because he's not the one in the title match. All right, let's see. Grayson Waller, his last match, he won against Duke Hudson.
Classic.
Big win.
Classic.
He lost to Akira Tozawa on main event.
Mm-hmm.
He beat R-Truth by referee's decision when R-Truth got hurt.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He lost to Apollo Crews in a casket match.
Ah, yes. Halloween Havoc.
And he lost to Ilya Dragunov on TV.
I never heard of that guy.
He lost to Oro Mensah on TV.
For that qualifying ladder match.
But he did beat Apollo Crews the first time they faced each other. So,
yeah.
There you go. Great year for him.
Great year. He lost that casket.
Carmelo Hayes, again, is the only one I can give you anything about. So he has to win because I feel like your goal should be doing that match one time before one of them go up.
Yeah.
Which should be Hayes going up, by the way.
Yes, Carmelo Hayes of this crop is the only guy that I think is ready for main roster.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond Kiana James, but...
This show sucks.
Yeah, no. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna pick Joe Gacy as my winner. I'm gonna be rooting for the Gace man.
All right, I'm just gonna pick Carmelo Hayes. I'm not gonna make this difficult.
It's gonna be no, I had a horrendous joke to make. I'm not gonna make that joke.
Thanks.
That was a really bad joke. Anyway.
Oh wait, Joe Gacy did return on SmackDown recently.
Returned on SmackDown?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
He has an Uncle Howdy.
Wait. What? Hold on.
I'm saying he's just Bray Wyatt, but bad.
Oh.
Worse somehow.
Oh, okay. What if is he Uncle Howdy? Is it what's happened to Bray Wyatt? Is he still the hottest thing?
I don't know. Is he still around?
He's still the
Is
hottest
he
thing?
on SmackDown this past week?
I don't know.
To be fair, you just learned Tegan Knox was. How the hell am I supposed to know? If you just learned the return guy, I don't think we're gonna figure out.
Anyways, the NXT Deadline main event undoubtedly is NXT title match: Braun Breaker versus Apollo Crews. Now we're talking. Yeah,
should be pretty good.
Two athletic beasts, marvels of their time.
And you know, Kofi Kingston declared for the Royal Rumble.
Oh, good for him. Not Xavier though.
This random graphic of Kofi just smiling.
Good for him.
You can tell how much I don't want to talk about the show.
Royal Rumble's
also, JBL's
2
hosting a high-stakes invitational poker tournament on Monday Night Raw. Wow. And I was told Triple H made this stuff better.
The Royal Rumble's 2 months away. And Kofi's like, I'm in it.
I'm in it, man.
You know I'm there.
Yeah, Braun Breaker wins. All right, there you go.
Apollo Crews versus Braun Breaker would be a really cool, like, Steiner Brothers group
match.
Honestly, that'd be a pretty good tag team. I'll be honest. Yeah, Braun Breaker's gonna win.
The Crews Breakers, the Apollo
Breakers.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Braun Breaker's gonna win. Carmelo Hazel was gonna win.
Two just unspirited shows. No spirit in these shows.
Cold
back-to-back.
as ice. Which show is colder, you think?
NXT by default.
At the end of the day, which show do you think will be better wrestling wise?
Ring of Honor by default.
Yeah, I think that's a layup of a question. It really is a layup of a question. Anyways, that's our show. I guess I apologize for the lack of energy, folks, but I am of course sick, as you probably heard,
and I'm dead inside.
And Scotty had to preview NXT Deadline, so
yeah, Kiana James.
Where is Ivy Nile? Where is Ivy Nile? Is she?
I know. My entire conversation was, "Where's Ivy Nile?" That was my preview for this.
Is she feuding with someone right now?
There's not a shot, dude.
Where is she? I want to see her win.
Not here.
She's pretty good.
No, she's not. She's not in the match.
You're right. She had a horrendous year. Let's look
Horrendous
at it. Oh, you know what I remembered? You know what? Here, even better. I got another. I want to talk about good years. Match statistics on Cage Match. All right, let's see. Ivy Niles 2022. She has 20 out of 37 matches. She has 26 wins. That is 70.3 win percentage. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Staying on board. Kiana James, of course. We all know Kiana James. Out of 35 matches this year, 2 less, so it's similar. She won 9 matches. Ivy Nile, 70% win percentage. Kiana James, 25.7. But Kiana James, she was the 4th to last eliminated in a battle royal once. So, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm gonna bet. Do you think Ivy Niles? I'm gonna end the show. We gotta end the show. Anyways, before I look up Ivy Niles' win percentage against every other person in this competition, seeing that she is probably better than everyone else, and my nose is clogging up with mucus. Anyways, I apologize, folks, for being sick. I've been trying to get better for a whole damn week, and I couldn't. This is literally the best I've been all week. Can you believe it?
Just in time to preview these 2 shows.
Yeah, so you're welcome. We'll be back next week. Presumably, I'll be healthier. And presumably, we'll have a guest next week. Don't want to announce it in case anything falls through, but presumably, next week, we will have a guest. Reviewing NXT TakeOver Deadline, of course, and Ring of Honor Final Battle.
The poor guest.
Hey, they had the option. They chose this show, and they're in. It's going to be good. So stay hyped for that. Should be good stuff. Scotty, anything to plug? My guy.
You caught me mid-yawn.
I know, that's why I was trying to stall to give you a moment to breathe.
No.
Nothing? No good matches this week?
Oh, shit. Bryan Danielson versus Dax Harwood.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'd say so. It was finger licking good.
Ew. Ew. Can I hit you with a wild card here?
Like the Iron Survival Challenge?
No. That's not gonna be a match of the week in anyone's list.
But they have wild cards.
That's true. I'm gonna go with MLW. That's right. I'm back on the MLW train, baby.
How the hell did you watch MLW?
ProWrestling.tv is free, by the way. You can just watch it. Is it ProWrestling.tv. I discovered this. Thank you, MLW. It's free, and you can watch all of Warrior Wrestling on it. All of Warrior Wrestling shows are on it, I believe. Going back to the Stadium Series in 2021. AAA is on it. MLW is on it. That Women's Wrestling Army show by Maria Kanellis is on it.
Okay.
Control Your Narrative is on it, so you know I'm there.
All right. That's enough.
All right.
That's enough.
But yeah, no, you can watch it. You can watch MLW for free on Pro Wrestling.
What is it called? ProWrestling.net?
ProWrestlingTV.live, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, it's free.
What is the match?
The match was, which I could have seen live, but I chose not to. Pretty good match. Alexander Hammerstone versus Bandito for the MLW World Heavyweight title. Pretty good match. Again, could have seen this live. It was a good, really good Bandito match. And I love me some Bandito. So that was really, really good. So go check that out. ProWrestlingTV.live or whatever that. You can just look up ProWrestling.tv. What's that?
I forgot MLW existed.
Well, yeah. Well, they haven't. This is their 3rd show back. I think 4th.
I'll have to watch that.
Yes, that is the 4th show back. This is the first one from their Georgia taping,
which was taped on September 18th.
Yes, I was considering going to that. So it's finally coming around. And
See, you could have had your match of the week weeks ago.
I could have. And this taping, don't forget, this is the taping where Shun Skywalker wins, spoilers, wins the, I believe the junior heavyweight title from LLW.
Did you really just spoil?
Well, I spoiled it because he's currently no longer the middleweight champion.
Not only is he no longer, he's back in Dragon Gate. Very much just, being a wrestler again in Dragon Gate. So
yeah, he's. We are about to watch him win the title. Which, by the way, I watched Davey Richards finally win the national openweight title. So good for him. Took him long enough. I saw him finally win it.
Struggle.
I'm about to see Shun Skywalker win it. Yeah. So yeah.
If anyone hasn't figured out by now, Ryan just is looking for like one of these lower US promotions to figure their shit out. He tried with he's tried with MLW, they go away for months upon months. He tried with NWA. That worked out well for him. Impact's the only one that gives him something.
They're killing off their top stars.
And they're giving him Bully Ray. So, as you can tell, it's really paying off for Ryan.
Yeah, I need some contenders for minor / independent wrestling company of the year. For the year end awards.
Does Impact count? Or are they too big? Because they're owned by Access.
They're minor. They're minor. Well, no, we don't do. No, we just do promotion of the year. We just do promotion.
They're not winning. So
they're not
congratulations to them.
Yeah, no. They're not going to easily. No, I don't think they'll win match of the year from minor or independent wrestling promotion either.
Good job.
If Stardom's moving up to the big leagues of major,
yeah, they're in the big leagues now, kid.
Then
what? If Impact's in the major leagues.
Yeah, no. Impact is minor, baby.
Oh boy, we should probably end the show, huh?
Yeah, we probably should end the show. Thank you, everybody, for listening with us. We apologize for health issues, but we'll be back next week. We'll have a guest to help us out. And until then, we'll see you all next week. Goodbye, everybody. All right. Yeah, I know I just said we're leaving, but after we finish recording, I know I just said goodbye, but after we finished recording, I remembered that we didn't even talk about the draft from last week. The results of that said polling, Scotty.
Yeah.
So, how do you think?
Yeah.
A week out, how do you feel? How do you feel about your draft, your roster?
Yeah, I had some hits and misses. I think some places I could have done better. I assumed a little too much that you would skip over certain people that I wanted, and I think admittedly that came back to bite.
Yeah.
But I still feel pretty good about my my roster.
Yeah.
Over there, I think I did a good job. How about yourself?
I think that I picked a great roster that I would love, but looking at it, I can see you picked a lot of heavy hitters. Omega, Okada, Roman, MJF, Jay White, Adam Page, Vikingo, Tanahashi, Naito.
Yeah, you gotta play to the people. Play to the people.
Yeah, I love my rosters, but I think I didn't play enough to the people. But we got the votes in. And at 52 votes, we have 63.5% of the vote, 2/3% of the vote. Scotty wins the draft, the first annual RPR draft. Scotty, how do you feel? Speech.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank my family for helping me get through and pushing me to draft the best possible team. I'd like to thank the wrestlers who I drafted for being so good that they spoke to other people. And that was a very important part of it. Without them, I'm not here, right? I'm not here. So thank you to all the great roster members who went out there and shined bright. And have a good one, everyone. Thank you for voting me. Thank you for picking me. I really do appreciate it.
Bollocks, I say. Disappointing loss. Next year.
Hey man, it's tough. Can't all win. I'm not saying I've never lost a wrestling draft, but I've never lost a wrestling draft.
Next year I'm gonna come back with a vengeance.
Next year he's gonna be like bang bang, even though I don't know how much it will change.
No, you're right. Next year I'm gonna come out with a bang. That's right. Diamond Dallas Page will be opening my number 1 pick.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Thanks for the warning.
But thank you everybody for voting in the draft poll. We greatly appreciate it. We'll be back next week for a new episode. Next year for a new draft. Stay tuned for that. But until next week, goodbye.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
It's Amanda Bones.
And I'm Ashley.
Of How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling, the podcast on the Count Out Wrestling Podcast Network, a weekly show where we talk about all of our favorite things, babes, blood, and brutality.
We also talk about other fun things, like is Kenny Omega finally too tan? And how much blood is too much blood? Because that looks like way too much blood.
So join us on the adventure of teaching me, Amanda Bones, about wrestling.
This has been a Count Out Podcast.
Peloton's best offer of the season is here. Get up to $600 off Peloton Bike, Bike Plus, or Tread packages. Choose the package that's right for you with accessories like our cycling shoes, a heart rate band, non-slip grip dumbbells, and more. If you've been looking for a sign to join Peloton, this offer gives you everything you need to get going. This limited time offer ends December 6th. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more. All access membership separate. Offer ends December 6, 2022. Excludes Bike, Bike Plus, and Tread Basics. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
It's finally here. The Macy's Friends and Family Sale with an extra 30% off gifts they'll love. Get an extra 25% off kids' designer looks from Calvin Klein and more. Plus an extra 25% off Samsonite and Delsey luggage. With great prices from your favorite brands, Macy's has all the best deals you can't miss this weekend. And don't forget, Macy's card and coupon holders get 15% off beauty products they'll love this season. Visit Macys.com to find great holiday deals today.